Welcome back to the den, everybody. We
Yes.
got Bradley Kerwin, Garcia.
Sir.
Welcome back. Hell of a fucking week so far.
Just getting more fun all the time.
Yeah. I should probably grab a glass. So the two beers we got today are. Go ahead, go first, Mr. Bradley.
This is the one that we tried a couple months ago. Pirate. Or Pirate. If you want to throw that extra A in there, like they paid for the extra vowel, so I mean...
Might as well, right?
Right? Get your money's worth. But this is that Van Steen Brewery again. These guys are fantastic. They haven't done us wrong yet. They also make my favorite beer.
Golden Drat IPA, or not an IPA. I always want to throw. I live in California. I always want to throw the IPA in there.
It's a spicy beer.
Yeah. And then this is the Don Deur, Don D Deu,
Then they
Deu, French, Belgian. Sounds French. Deu. Belgian style triple wheat ale. 9% alcohol by volume, 1 pint, 9.4 fluid ounces. 750 milliliters. Unbruck. Unbruck.
Unibrew?
Unibrew? Brew?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a spice beer. Fermented. And these are both corked beers.
Yes.
They
They do not behave, as I spilled some of it earlier.
Yeah.
This is actually take two, which we don't do all that often.
No, but I mean for mishaps.
And,
yeah, for mishaps though.
Yeah. I know my blood pressure got raised.
Yeah, it'll be fine though.
It's fine. I cleaned it up. We did good.
We did alright. Alrighty, so let's go to beeradvocate.com.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, so, I mean, we've already done the Beer Advocate for Pirate. However, we did not do it for this one, because this one's a new one to the show. So I think I had it before over at, it was really good, pub, called The Congregation. That's right by us. And I think I've had it there previously. D-I-E-U.
Oh, does.
There you go. So while he goes about looking that up.
So we got this. So this is, again, we use Beer Advocate from beeradvocate.com.
Yes.
Again, we're not sponsored there. We are on there, but we haven't written any reviews yet. We're going to go ahead and start writing reviews either to the Facebook page or get a website up. I haven't decided yet. That way you won't able to, if you want to go ahead and look up the reviews without having to watch an entire fucking video, they'll be on the Facebook or...
But you should watch the whole thing. We're magnificent. We're
Yeah. But I mean, say they're like...
2-hour podcast.
Right?
All right, no tangents this time. Books. Books are important.
Yes.
On a random tangent.
So...
No, I mean, seriously. It's getting really dark and windy outside.
Belgian triple...
I'm getting Wizard of Oz vibes.
A Belgian triple is ranked 8. Or as a style of Belgian triple, it's ranked 8.
Wow.
This is actually very high.
Wow.
I will click on that to see where that is. It's a score of 93, outstanding.
Wow.
And that's ranked out of 1,905 different beers. That's pretty fucking good.
That's exceptional.
Number 8 out of 1,905.
I think that's the definition of exceptional.
Yeah. It gets an average rating out of 5, or the average rating out of 5 for their site
4.3?
is 4.17.
Oh, it was close.
Yep. It has a lot of reviews, and it's from Unibrew, Quebec, Canada. It's a Canadian beer.
Hey.
The
Must be doing something right.
Canadians.
What, healthcare and beer? Man, they're just killing it up there.
Actually, I heard some shit about Canada. It's kind of funny.
Was it about a moose?
Oh, yeah, we're not going to get into it, though.
Did a moose bite your sister? That's a joke from Monty Python.
Oh, okay. I was like, I don't get it. I was
Monty
like, my
Python
sister's never been to Canada. A smooth, drinkable triple wheat ale that is highly complex and well blended. Its fruity, malty, and yeasty notes conclude on a finish of roasted nuts and spice.
That sounds amazing.
Sounds pretty decent.
Would you like a glass, sir? So since today's going to be a continuation of our literary series, I did grab one of my Armgang Brewery Game of Thrones glasses. of which I have a
Nice.
few. They were running promotions for off and on for quite a while, where they had created a line of Game of Thrones beers, which I still have a stash of, and some of them were coming with glasses, so of course we snatched those up. My wife and I were giant
Heavy.
Game of Thrones fans, so. But this is one of the few areas where I'm very hipsterish in that I read the books long before it was a TV show.
Oh, yeah, well.
Yeah, I was one of those.
Rings.
Well, to be fair, I read the first I read the first 4 books before it was a TV show. He's still working on the 7th.
Yeah,
You understand that there were 8 fucking seasons of this show, right?
Yeah, but I mean, they veered off of...
Oh, well, because after book 5, they didn't have any more source material.
Yeah.
It got weird. I mean, of course, not Patrick Roth.
Filler episodes, bro.
George R.R. Martin was there on set, and he actually did help them script it out and all that stuff. So, I mean, it is based on him and his story, but there's still going to be stuff that's going to be different.
Yeah.
There was even stuff that was different from stuff where they had material. But that's something that's pretty normal whenever it comes to cinematics based on literature.
Anytime you convert formats, you're going to lose some of the quality.
Absolutely. Well, yes and no. If you converted a movie to a book, I think you would get more information.
No, those books are usually shitty.
Oh, they're usually not good, but I'm saying they have potential. You could do it.
Like if you made a series off of a movie, maybe.
But the reason being is that, again, you're trying to fit, a 600-page book or whatever, or 400-page book. It's still going to take you, 10 hours to read or something like that, and you're trying to fit all of that into a 2-hour, movie, an hour and 45-minute movie. People bitched up and down about Lord of the Rings was like, where's this? Where's that? They didn't go here. Where are the flying, where are the eagles? Where's them throwing exploding friggin' pine cones? Which actually was a thing in The Hobbit.
Yeah.
And my brother had the perfect saying. He's like, fuck those people. That's ludicrous. The only way that you could stay true to a book is if it was 40 hours long and if it was made with fucking Muppets.
It's called miniseries.
It's the only way you could afford it.
They're miniseries.
Well, which they do end up doing whenever, HBO is famous for their 10-episode miniseries.
Yeah.
And they're like, each one has a budget, like a
Ridiculous.
full-length film.
Yeah.
So.
But I mean, that's how you get the quality of a book.
Well, yeah. So I mean, that's why Game of Thrones miniseries. So each season about 10 episodes minus the last season. So yeah.
Yeah. So you do know beers go bad, right?
No, they ferment. Shut up.
Okay.
They're collectors.
I'm not saying one way or another. I'm just informing you that at some point those beers are not going to taste how they were meant to taste.
We got time.
Yeah. But yeah. So Game of Thrones books. Game of Thrones that actually wheels and ties into what we're actually talking about. And what the fuck are they jumping on?
They're not. That's actually a rattling sliding glass door because it's really windy outside right now.
Yours?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Sliding glass door.
I didn't know if it was yours or the neighbors.
Oh, yeah.
So, fucking...
It could be the neighbors because I swear, like, they do have some... I mean, their kids are fine or whatever, but they do have approximately 93 baseballs land in our backyard each week, so...
Nice.
Yeah.
At least they're out playing.
That's true. That, you know what?
Fuck it.
Silver lining.
At least they're
Thank
outside.
you.
But yeah, so Game of Thrones.
Look at you finding the bright side.
Game of Thrones really ties into what we're talking about in this episode,
Yes.
which is our favorite series of
Book
books.
series.
Yeah, not our singular book. Within trying to keep it to an hour, we're going to go ahead and not get too crazy with the book descriptions or whatever. But we're going to try to get the best information we can about the series out. So would Game of Thrones be considered one of your, maybe not your favorite, but one of the top?
One
lists?
of? Oh, for sure. Well, I'd be hard pressed to think of another series that has that developed a world. You know, that has that much deep information. You know what I mean? That has kind of that was that fucking crazy and that much just bald-faced murder. It's crazy.
Pretty good one. What's up, Hockenberry? Filming. Hold
this
on.
guy.
Say hi to everybody on the podcast and video.
Hello.
So we're talking about our favorite book series today. What are your thoughts on Game of Thrones?
Game of Thrones?
Yeah, the book series, not the TV show.
Yeah, I haven't actually read the book series yet. That's still on my to-do list.
Oh, that's right. You're supposed to get the entire
At least it's
book.
on the list.
My wife's read it. She said it's fantastic.
All right. Mind if I give you a call back about an hour, or you want to stay for the entire podcast?
You're good, bro. Give me a call back.
All right, brother. Talk to you later.
Yep, see ya.
That was one of the guys that I served with out in Fort Irwin, actually.
Mm-hmm.
He's part of the audiobook book club we got going on. Just me, him, and Melissa. So it's just...
There's a name you should remember. Especially given that there's only 3 of you. Yeah. Anyway, so when it comes to a rich, expansive world, oh yeah, Game of Thrones, high points.
Yeah. There's definitely the War Machine, that book that I was telling you about. I can't find it anywhere. It's somewhere. It's fucking about that thick.
Is it based on Marvel's War Machine?
No.
Oh.
It's not 40K or anything like that. It's just the book title of the book's called War Machine. But it has the economy of various different planets, histories of the planets.
I love
fucking
those
personal histories of the
stuff.
characters.
It shows that you were paying attention and like.
Yeah.
I mean, but there is such a thing
As
too much detail.
Yeah.
And I think I've made this joke with you, and it's and I just referenced it. When it came to Tolkien's crap.
Oh, Tolkien, yeah.
No, Clancy's fine because it shows that he actually has some medical military
With that, yes,
knowledge.
but I don't need to know that the fucking dress had fucking 500 thread count or fucking whatever,
Hey,
and
man.
it was yellow, and then the flowers were set up in this pattern across, line by goddamn line. I don't need to know that.
Look, he had a word count that he needed to hit for his publisher.
I guess.
That's like whenever you're trying to write an essay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, it's got to be 500 words, single type. Shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tolkien was the one that just drove me up. It's one of the only few books that I didn't finish. Was I read The Hobbit. That one was short and sweet.
Yeah.
But when it came to reading the original Lord of the Rings series, I couldn't do it. Same thing. He described. There was a scene where he fucking describes pine cones for like a page and a half.
Yeah, well, I read those fucking.
And I'm like, I'm out.
When I was a kid, and I was about it. When I was a kid, though.
I was an adult, and I'm like, no, you gotta. I got shit to do that I'm
Yeah.
avoiding by reading a book right now.
Yeah, that's definitely one way about going about it. But yeah, so the parameters for our episode, podcast episode, YouTube episode, is no series, or a series is anything over 3 books.
Yeah.
3 books is trilogy, and then fucking below doesn't really matter. So it's anything above that. So we'll let you get started with your favorite book since you're already talking about Game of Thrones. What's your favorite book series?
Favorite book series is going to be the Harry Dresden Files. So that's actually written by an author named Jim Butcher, who has a second series that he wrote that also it's a close second. It doesn't have as many books, but it's still excellent. And that's the Codex of Valera. It's very, very cool.
The Dresden series, if
Yes.
I remember correctly, I fucking delved into 1 or 2 of his books in the series, not in order at all in the slightest. Because the first
Which
book,
helps because it is a sequential book.
well, no, the first book I read, and I was just like, this book sucks. Maybe they'll pick up later on in the series, and I picked up one of the ones later on in the series, and I was like, yeah, this just isn't for me. But I can't fully remember. We both read tons and tons of
Oh,
books. So books that you really don't care for don't really stick in your mind. But Dresden, I do believe, was reminiscent of Monster Hunter, I want to say, and Detective.
Yes. He's a wizard. It's urban fantasy,
That's
so
what it
it's
was,
modern
yeah.
times,
The
and
wizard
he is a legitimate PI.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's even in the phone book as a.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny because he has this description set up. It's like Harry Dresden, private eye, wizard. He's the only, and he always mentions he's the only wizard in the phone books. Yeah. And everyone thinks he's crazy, but he does really good work,
Yeah.
so they keep coming back, so whatever. Finds lost things, will blah, 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 blah. No love potions, no blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And,
You know, typical.
I mean,
wizard,
it just looks like good marketing, but it turns out.
typical wizard genie fucking setup.
Yeah, yeah. But his full name is Harry Blackstone Copperfield Dresden.
From the Copperfield.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Blackstone was also another famous magician.
Yeah.
It's been a couple of years since his last book came out. The author went through a divorce. So it's been like 4 years since Skin Games came out.
And that's always tough going through something like that.
Oh, for sure. But it just he was super quiet about it, and everyone was kind of clamoring because he would come out with a book every 2-3 years, something like that. But it's been 6, I think. So it's been about 3 times as long.
The mental recovery of some fucking that.
Sure.
Yeah. It takes a toll. So he's probably trying to make sure that he's not
That,
just...
and he's got enough money, so he was also going to take it easy.
He's probably not just trying to push something out. He probably wants to write something of quality.
And that's kind of the thing, too, is that these are the last 3 or 5 books in this series.
And
he's already planned, he's like, hey, this does end.
How long is this series now?
17.
17. So he's at 17 books.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can figure it's going to be a little harder to come up with original content.
He already gave up the titles for the next books and stuff like that, which is very good. I'm like, this is perfect. I'm going to be super bummed when that day comes and the series ends, but it's still, I mean, I could always go back and it'll take me a long time to go through it again.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. I don't know, I might give it another read. Well, actually, I might not give it a read. I will give it a listen if it's on Audible.
Let's put it this way: he's not the Merlin stodgy
like I said, I've read the first book.
Yeah. He's 6'7". He's not super. He's not cadaverously vampirically skinny or whatever. But he's a skinny dude.
Lanky.
He's not fat. Yeah. But he's 6'7".
So
he's always the tallest dude in the room. He's always kind of awkward and weird.
So think of Sam from Supernatural.
Oh, yeah. Well, not that buff.
But taller.
Yeah.
But Sam's always usually the tallest person in frame.
Yeah. He's... Well, and that's always kind of the trippy thing. He always makes... So Jared Padalecki and Jensen Ackles.
Yeah.
So Jared Padalecki plays Sam. Where Jensen's not short, but he makes him look short. Dude's 6'3" or something like that. 6'2".
Only 6'1". 6'1" or 6'2".
Yeah.
We'll go 6'2".
Yeah. But which is tall.
Dude, he's very musically inclined.
Oh, dude can sing.
Yeah.
And play
guitar. Yeah, he has a band.
Isn't he from Texas? He's from Texas. He's got a brewery in Texas.
He's from Texas, and
I
Padalecki's
would
from Canada.
To visit.
Canada, right? Padalecki? And then they did an episode that actually features their wife, or his wife.
His real life wife, which was the original Ruby.
Yeah.
Yeah, that episode got super meta.
So what's your favorite part about the Dresden series?
So here's kind of the thing. So not a typical wizard where he's just like, oh, I'm going to cast a spell from 30 miles away and it's going to, just...
Well, he's a PI.
I cast a fireball. No, that's the thing. Dude runs around in a friggin' badass trench coat.
Yeah.
He gets his ass beat a lot. So that's one of those things is that just like Anita Blake when we were talking the other day, he makes sure that he runs, every day if he can because... I love books where they're like, fuck it, I can take it, blah, blah, blah. Where they're like, no, this is going to rip my face off and wear my skin. I'm going to make sure that I can run faster than it. Because I can't go in a punch fight with this thing that's 9 feet tall and is 3,000 years old, you know what I mean? But also, too, what's that?
You got to get to that War Machine book.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just bogus to me because it's just like, if I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna watch a Rocky movie or Rambo or some bullshit. I'm like, okay. But if a certain amount of realism is always fun and enjoyable, where he's like, nope, that thing's gonna kill me. I'm going that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is too is that he also carries a gun and a big honking hog leg of a revolver at that.
Yeah,
which
it's,
is hilarious
the
to me.
44 Magnum, isn't it?
Yes, which is fucking hilarious because every time he goes up against these ancient beings who are kind of used to dealing with wizards being, holier than thou Merlin types who are just kind of assholes.
Yeah.
And they're like, haha, you have no more magic left. And he's like, you know what?
They basically shun technology.
You're right. I am out of magic. That's great. I can't tell you how many times he's like, you know what? That's true. You got me good. Dodge this.
Yeah, I mean,
Carry this, you filthy cat.
He's like the Clint Eastwood
Yes.
of Monster Fantasy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's Merlin on Red Bull.
I think it was the dialogue that might have killed it for me. But then again, you have to think, I was reading that book at the same time I read, I don't know if you've heard of A. American, a writer.
No.
It's his pen name. I know, right? Fucking talk about fucking
AAA.
patriotic pen name. But, no, it's A. American. Yeah, A. American or some crap like that. But, no, it's just, I was reading it the same way as reading that book. But that one had, like, it was Southern, it was a Southern guy writing it with straight up, Southern,
Dialect.
talked.
Yeah.
Like the way you hear a Southern person talk, where they get into a shit show and they're sitting there and they're just like, all right, well, fuck this.
Well, that's another one of those. So that's one of my favorite things about the books too. Is the dialogue because he's really funny. Because he's kind of
But he's more well-spoken. He's less.
He's not erudite in that he speaks highly, but he's just kind of a snarky asshole. Because he likes being left alone. He lives in a little, kind of a basement.
Think he cussed, though,
broke.
did he?
Oh yeah.
Oh fuck.
Oh yeah.
Maybe it wasn't that. Maybe
he's perpetually broke, which is like a running theme.
Yeah.
He has this shitty Volkswagen Beetle that constantly just gets shit hammered all the time, and he has to keep getting it fixed. Yeah, the guy's life, and he talks about, he's like, the guy's life sucks. So there's a lot of relatable things that go along with it.
Isn't there a TV show from the Dresden Files?
There was, and it was awful.
Never seen it.
The actor that got to do it was perfect. It's one of the few times that I ever agreed with casting. However, the other casting was incorrect. He had a fucking hockey stick for a staff. He had Bob the Talking Skull was actually a dude in the show, and I'm like, what the fuck? No, it's literally like a talking skull who's kind of the talking skull is hilarious as well because he's a pervert.
With the animation we have today, they probably do that. So
it wasn't even that long ago.
What would you say the jump technology. That's a different. What would you say would be a downfall of the book for you, from the author and from the?
Man, you're gonna make me talk trash about my favorite series?
Always.
That's a bummer.
Yeah. Other than the 6-year wait for the next book.
Yeah, that is a definite bummer. I don't know.
There's got to be one book where you're just like, this seems just like.
There are times when it's like too dark and it kind of depresses you, and I'm like, this.
I feel like that's good for a book, though.
And yeah, it does make it for me relatable, but it's kind of a downside too, where you're like, fuck, man. All I want is for this guy. If somebody deserves a good day once in a while, it's this guy. But he's constantly saving. It's the perpetual, I just saved the planet, but no one said thank you. That kind of shit.
But that's his.
Not only did they not say thank you, they foreclosed on your house, they burned your dog alive, and
that's your 9 to 5.
Yeah, it sucks. Poor guy needs a break.
You get home, you make all that money, you pay the bills, and you don't get a thank you at the end of the day. It's more of, hey, can I have more money?
Turns out you can't.
Turns out that's all I got.
Yeah.
And then you go back to work. So that's his 9 to 5.
He's not, the most. He doesn't have the highest IQ on the planet. He's not dumb by far.
No.
But
wizard.
Yeah, he's incredibly intelligent. However, he's more wily. He's more crafty. He's just sneaky. I don't know how to better describe it. He has strokes of
wily.
Yeah. He's just
squirrely.
That's another way. Yeah, he's very, very. Yeah, he has some strokes of genius from time to time that are either just brilliant or flat out hilarious.
Okay, what's your favorite book in the series that's currently out?
Crap.
Out of the 17 books that are currently out, which one would you have to say is your favorite one? and what makes that book stick out to you? Damn. I know, I'm coming at you with hard questions, bro. You would think that I had all these questions pre-thought out.
So I am blanking on the title, but there's...
Which one in the series?
I'm going to give stuff away. It's pretty far out. It's the second or third before last in the series.
Okay, spoiler alert.
I want to say it's not Cold Days, because that's... Ah, man. Anyway, it's just before Cold Days.
You want to go and look that up?
Nah.
Okay.
They should look it up. That way I'm not giving away too many spoilers. But there's a thing where he does make a lot of deals. He's very John Constantine in that he does wheel and deal and try to get power where he can whenever he needs it, because there are times where he gets his ass whooped and needs to come back for round 2.
Okay, so that being said, what type of creatures does he face? So
vast majority
if the audience
are,
was going to read the book, what would they be? What can they be expecting? Could they be expecting something close to supernatural, or?
Yeah, it's vast majority supernatural.
Okay.
Vast majority of it is vampire courts. So there's red, black, white, etc. Nah.
You got the rednecks, you got the high class aristocrats, and then the blacks. I'm guessing the
black
ones
white ones are the high class. So I guess that does take some getting into. So they feed different ways.
I'm tracking. So you're different. So
Black Court, think necromancers and Nosferatu. They're real fucking ugly. They look decomposing.
They're all vampires. Go into the different monster types.
So vast majority of which are vampires, but then also too, I mean, there's a smattering of stuff from different mythologies and stuff. Because all these different mythologies exist.
Yeah, which ones stick out to you?
So the two that he comes up against the most are the vampires and, oddly enough,
werewolves.
Fairies. Because there's two different courts.
Well, in books, do you think it seems that the fairies
always get made up to be like brownies and pixies and little
No. That's in video media, fucking movies and TV shows. But I mean, in books, doesn't it seem that fairies are more OP and just straight up dangerous? Mad Hatter.
Fuck.
Yeah.
So I'll get to the Mad Hatter thing later. Not too much later. But yeah, so there's two different courts in this book. There's the summer court and the winter court. And they're constantly rotating in power. In that, summertime
Fairies and vampires.
Say again?
Fairies and vampires? Or are you talking about fairies?
Fairies, yeah. So there's the winter court and the summer court. So summertime is the domain of the summer court. That's when they're at their apex. They're most powerful. And winter court is at their weakest. And vice versa. He ends up making a deal with Queen Mab.
3 minutes.
Sure.
To finish up your book.
Yeah. He ends up making a deal with Queen Mab, who is the queen of the winter court. But he also kind of put in a failsafe. If he ended up becoming her knight, there's only one on each side, so there's a balance. They're the whole thing about them is balance.
Yeah.
So the Winter Knight is dead, so he was supposed to take his place. He didn't want to, but he needed power to defeat, the big bad. But he did essentially hire a hitman named Kincaid. Because Kincaid had threatened him one time, saying, too, like, when a wizard dies, if they have
Kincaid. Mythological?
He is.
Okay.
Yeah, wait a minute. Oh, we'll get to that. So, he got threatened by Kincaid one time, said that, because wizards, when they die, if they have enough time, they can pop a death curse. Kincaid said, I'll be on a rooftop a mile away. You'll never see me. You'll never hear the bullet. You'll be dead, and, that's it. They eventually get onto, buddy-buddy terms, and so he hires them to, hey, if I accept this deal, if I show up somewhere, I need you waiting. Homeboy gets plugged. Just splat. Just gets a barrett through the chest.
Nice.
It was pretty rad. It was really fucked up, and I'm like, he dies. Yeah, I mean, he legit died. It was good. Really, really good.
Well, that's the way to go.
Yeah, so it was a whole thing of he took some bad juju to defeat more bad juju. So he made a deal he really didn't want to, but he found a squirrely way to get out of it.
Yeah. But I mean, that's just fairies for you.
He didn't get out of it.
Never make a deal with the dragon.
Never make a deal with the fairies.
And give you 30 seconds. what would you say about the series?
Good love interest too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, ass kicking chicks.
So in 30 seconds, go ahead and let me know what you would want the audience to take away from the series.
It's very engaging. There's a lot of action. It does make you think a lot. It does have a lot of emotions involved too. So he very Jim Butcher does a great deal in fleshing out him, Dresden, as a human being, as a character. He's human. Wizards do live longer just because they have magic within them. They'll live to 200, 300, 400 years, whatever. But he's got to pay rent. He's got to pay bills. He's fucking broke all the time. He's got a shitty car. He doesn't have a lot of luck with chicks. Sometimes he does, but things go south. He's human. He's got to pay rent on his apartment.
Would you say this is a series
But
more
he also
towards
casts
women
fireballs
or
and
men?
shit. Dudes.
Dudes?
Yeah.
Would
I mean,
you recommend...
not that it doesn't cater to women.
Okay.
It's still a good story. Of course, highly recommend it. So, like I think I mentioned either maybe last episode, one of those times where you end up buying multiple copies of books because you give them out. I've done it a couple of times with this series. Yeah, definitely.
Definitely a good series.
Yeah, first book is Stormfront. Look for it. Also, look up his Codex Alera. So, the reason that he ended up writing that series during I think it was an AMA, and Ask Me Anything, like on Reddit or whatever, he got challenged to write a story in the vein of Avatar: The Last Earthbender, or Airbender, excuse me. It did, and it was amazing. It's not exactly, like Earth, Water, Fire, Bubble. Super good. Super, super good.
And that's the Harry Dresden series?
Yep.
All right,
the Harry Dresden Files.
Harry Dresden Files, the book version, definitely look it up.
Oh, yeah.
Highly recommended from Bradley Kerwin.
Anywhere you can find books, it's there. Either I own all the physical copies. In addition, this is one of those things where I've overlapped, and I have digital copies of those books as well. I actually have a signed copy. The last book he wrote was Skin Games, and he signed my copy.
Nice.
Yeah, hardback.
Got a little collector's item there.
Only signed book I own.
Really?
Yeah.
Got a couple. I got more time on my hands, I guess, or had more time on my hands at the time. So, for my favorite book series would be by James N. Cook, and it's a zombie apocalypse. Surprise, surprise.
I love zombie apocalypse. I like apocalyptic stories.
Well, it's called Surviving the Dead. It's currently at 9 books. The last book is Hellbreaker. What I most love about the book would have to be the characters and the way it's written. It's written tactically.
How many people are left? Like does it start out? Is it just by itself, or
no? So it starts off with the full population of peoples.
Oh, so it goes through the outbreak.
It goes through the outbreak.
Yes, I hate that when they just jump to like it's been a year since the zombies munched everyone's brains.
Well,
God damn it!
No,
really?
it talks about it starts off with talking about how he met his friend, Gabriel. And his friend Gabriel. So the two main characters are Gabriel, who is a fucking super secret, sneaky Marine.
Wait, is this the one where they show up at that Marine base there in that parking structure at the very beginning? Like they're on the freeway?
No, I think that's by A American.
Oh, is that the other guy? That's also zombies.
Yeah, there's like, I don't know, there's just 4 different zombie series that I like.
Okay.
So you'd have to be more specific than parking structure with zombies.
I mean, the book starts with them pulling into a... Anyway.
Oh, no, not this one? No. It's called Surviving the Dead, and it's Gabriel, and for the life of me, I can't remember the other character's name right now. But he's a CPA.
An accountant?
An accountant, straight up, and he's his fucking parents both died. His whole lineage dies, and he's left with retarded amounts of money. And it's split between him and his uncle.
Okay.
Because those are the only two.
Hey man, if I've learned anything from zombie video games, so long as you can make a guillotine out of a necktie and a set of knives.
Well, that's the thing.
Being a CPA is not that bad.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. He's a CPA, and he has the only thing he has good looks. He's a handsome dude. He's just one of those pretty boy millionaires. So he gets all this money.
Playboy billionaire philanthropist.
Yeah, well, no, not even a philanthropist. Because he just kind of squirrels his money away because he's just like, I have the money. I'm young. What do I need to do? I just need to make more money. So that's basically what his whole fucking thing is, and he's left with a bunch of properties, and he's selling off all the properties. One of the properties that he's having a problem getting rid of is sitting on retarded amounts of land, and it's a cabin. And, I forget what state it's in, but it's selling for a couple million, but nobody wants to pay for it because it's all the way out in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Yeah.
So Gabriel comes along, and he's like, I want to buy it, and he pays out cash in hand.
Sketchy.
Right? So
Is he from the mob?
Well, that's the thing is our main character, or one of our main characters, doesn't care. Like
No, but he's been trying to get rid of this thing forever.
Yeah, so he's just like, okay,
I
great.
don't care either. Escrow sucks.
He meets the guy and he's like, oh, I'm sorry, the place doesn't have this, doesn't have that.
He's like,
and the guy has a wood burning stove. There's woods on the property.
Wait a minute. Does Gabriel know what's coming? Ah, that's why he wanted it. Oh,
Well,
I see where this is
no.
going.
He doesn't know that it's specifically coming, but he knows that it is a thing because
He knows that zombies exist?
Yeah, because he spent the last, I think they say like 10 years eradicating it around the world.
He's a zombie bounty hunter?
Well, no, it's like he's hired by a company, and these companies are called Aegis, and they send these guys out whenever this
Outbreak.
incident crops up.
Uh-huh.
They get hired and sent out to go deal with it. And they're talking about these guys have a bad reputation of wiping out entire cities because the population of the world doesn't know that.
So he's planning for the event that there comes
Just
a time
in case, because,
where they can't control it.
Well, because he's sit there and he's been in cities where the entire city has turned.
There must be a lot of guys like this.
No, they work in special forces team.
Yeah,
so
they
they
got
come.
an entire city.
Well, I mean, they're zombies. They go towards loud noises.
Well, I'm just saying that's a lot of.
Well, they set up a central area where they fucking put up loudspeakers in the middle of the city or
and
explosives,
just pick them off one at a time,
and
slowly.
then they blow it so all the zombies go towards the center, and then they get a couple of small teams on the outside. So when the zombies start dispersing, they can just start eradicating. And then he goes through on how they found out the best methods and all this jazz, and
well, I wonder if there's a way if you could make this massive fucking crater, or attract them to a spot, crater the fucking thing. Whatever zombies are left, you just have bulldozers, at the end, and just scoop them into the middle and just blow it up.
Well, they don't know how it keeps cropping up. Because it's not like it crops up here and then it crops up next to it. It crops up here and then the other side of the planet.
And they're pretty good about making sure that there's no, zombie survivors just, escaping.
Yeah, no, they eradicate every
how
living.
Does it keep coming back?
Living thing. Well, they explain it later on in the book, or they don't really explain where it keeps coming from, but they explain what it is. They have like a scientific name for it that they list out. They actually name it in the book, the scientific name, and it has this many syllables, and then they put it there, and then I couldn't read it either, or some shit like that, and then we call it the red phage.
Oh,
because it's a virus, or no, it's a phage. It's a bacteria.
Excuse me, pH.
pH. Yeah. So I mean, and it gets in, and it infects the people, and they turn whatever. So it's pretty cool that the way they explain it, the way they explain the outbreaks and what have you. Later on in the series, they meet this old Vietnam vet,
like the dude from the first Left 4 Dead.
Yeah, and I'm talking about mad skill. He's an old Vietnam sniper.
Oh yeah,
and he's got mad skills. And he tells them,
I've killed 93 Cambodians.
Well, I mean, Gabriel thought he was the first one that was. He was part of the first teams.
Holy
fighting
shit!
It.
They've been killing zombie incursions for decades.
Not ages. Aegis came around and started doing it as a subsidiary for the government, but the government knew and was fighting this since Vietnam.
That sounds. I want to read this. This sounds amazing.
It goes deeper because later in the series you find out
a World War II vet.
No, it wasn't a World War II
Civil War vet.
No, it was a guy. It was a guy that was like scrolled up or some crap like that, and he goes, "Well, my grandpa said something like this could always happen, but I just thought it was just because of the war, because he was in World War II, and he was talking about how they were holding the no man's zone.
Yep.
And they would hear the Germans start screaming on the other side." And the Germans would start coming over.
Oh, you mean World War I?
World War I,
Trench warfare.
Yeah, and then no matter how many times they would fucking put rounds in these dudes, they wouldn't go down.
There's an urban legend or myth or whatever you want to call it about zombie experiments in Germany and how there was an entire, I don't know if it was regiment or whatever of zombie troops who were actually still intelligent, and they have like a black and white photo. Like it's kind of like a Slender Man kind of thing.
That's why we have the same thing with That's why we have the same thing with the Nazi zombies in Call of Duty.
Based on that.
They're based on that.
Yeah. So you know the story then.
Yeah.
They even have a black and white photo of like one dude like holding his own head like Ichabod Crane.
Yeah, but I mean they have like kids doing that in their Halloween costumes nowadays.
Yeah, for sure. But it's a really fun. It's a cool like myth.
Yeah. I mean we could do an entire video on fucking Germany and the
Urban
Nazis.
legends.
We could probably do a mini series on that.
Woo!
People,
they did weird stuff.
Keep a lookout for the mini series of Nazi Germany.
Yeah. The Nazi Germany and the occult.
We might even get a flag to hang up. I'm just kidding. We're not going to do that.
No, I'm white.
But yeah, so
that doesn't work.
Well, yeah, this guy in CPA meets Gabriel, a super secret guy that's been fighting this. But
secret
he does it.
Agent man.
These guys are friends for years after the guy buys the cabin. Years, like I think
so
it's like
a
5
while.
years. Yeah. I mean, they do the time lapse thing with the
Gotcha. Well,
yeah, but they know each other.
No montage.
Yeah, they do 5 years of getting to know each other, and then it
Shit
goes.
hits the fan.
Well, the CPA is watching the news and he hears about this riot out in
Modesto.
Chicago, Detroit. Where's the CDC? It's Detroit.
I don't know.
It's in Detroit, I think. It's
Michigan?
No, it's in Detroit. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
home of RoboCop.
So it happens over there, which is a state or two away from where he's at, and it says what states he's in, the area that he's in, the city, and all that crap. But I can't remember off the top of my head. So it says he's over there, and he hears about this,
He's
and
like,
then
that's weird.
yeah, well, his buddy gives him a call and says, "I'm sending you a PDF. Read it now. Remember all that stuff I told you to buy and get ready? Prepare for it." And then he hangs up.
He doesn't say like, "Hey, get in your car and just drive to me."
Well, he can't. Because imagine you're a guy that's been eradicating this in the U.S.
Yeah.
The government's going to have tabs on you.
Oh, so he's trying to stay off. Wait, why would the government want to kill him?
This is where this is where I'm talking about the depth
Don't
of
they
this.
have bigger problems?
Well, the depth of this comes in is he's not the first guy to let somebody know about this. So there's other guys on the team that have tried to let the populace know about, and then
they don't want the panic.
Every time it's been a suicide or he's been shot in a drive-by or crap like that.
He shot himself twice in the back of the head.
Yeah, basically, Clinton campaign, straight up. So what? It's the Clintons.
It was not the Clintons.
That story was on the Clintons. You know that, right?
Epstein?
Yeah, well, Epstein did have shit in the Clintons, but he didn't.
He had shit on everyone.
He didn't shoot himself in the back of the head. I'm talking about the reporter. He was fucking doing the story on the fucking Clintons, and then they said that he shot himself, but it turns out the bullet holes were 2 in the back of the head, and then he shot himself twice in the back of the head, and then burned his van.
I mean,
was the story. He shot himself twice in the back of the head and then burned his own van.
Wouldn't you burn your own van after you did that?
I mean, yeah, so I wouldn't have to clean up the mess later.
Well, I guess I better climb inside while it's on fire.
Oh, the fire was set after.
Yeah.
The shots.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah.
So
that's where the
does
joke.
He actually like follow the PDF and
well, there's riots going
Sorta.
on. There's riots going on, and his girlfriend.
Riots.
There's his girlfriend at the time. His family down there.
How old is he?
Oh, at the time I think he's
30s,
late 20s, early 30s.
Oh, yeah.
Late 20s,
Yeah,
early
yeah,
30s. You know, young millionaire. So Gabriel's older. He's probably early 30s at the time, early to mid 30s at the time. But yeah, so they go through all this, and this is after 5 years and fucking getting to know each other, and him hanging out with Gabriel. Gabriel basically subtly teaching him all the shit he's gonna need to know to survive. Very subtly taking him to the range, teaching him how to fight, all this crap. Basically teaching him...
Under the guise of, hey, let's hang out, have a beer, let's go to the shooting range.
Well, he liked the guy. They liked each other. They hung out and were drinking, and so he's just like, all right, well, shit does go down. I want this guy to survive. So he does that, and the first book is about him getting down to Gabriel. And in the first book, he doesn't get there. Because, well...
I assume there's traffic.
I think it's only 100 miles or so away.
That's all. Close.
But it tells you, that's why I love this series so much, is it gets so in-depth of, what would actually happen. What's the likeliest thing to happen, which is, he has his vehicle. The vehicle's running. There's no nukes, because, let's be completely honest, even with the zombie outbreak, we're not going to nuke America.
No.
We're not going to do it, because it's just, one, it looks bad, and two...
It just...
You're not going to nuke America.
You're not going to get all of them.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a shit show up now. You're not going to nuke America. So, they don't employ the nukes at all in the zombie series. Well, in the beginning. Yeah. After the civil thing and gets to the Mississippi, because, the Mississippi is like, well, fuck it. We'll just nuke that side of the country.
So they do nuke it?
No. You get the reactor failures. So reactors have fail-safes, and this is another thing what I love about the book is it explains that reactors have fail-safes.
Yeah, oh yeah, they have tons of redundancies.
They have all these to make sure it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But 1 in a million, somebody fucked up.
Yeah,
and the reactor failed.
That sucks.
Yes, but that's what they go on. And it goes on saying that they have these redundancies, like this shouldn't happen. He's just like, well, it didn't happen to all of them. It just happened to this one.
Yeah, there's like 50 nuclear reactors in the U.S.
It's but this one fucked up, and this one is causing a lot of problems. Yeah. But the guy's just like, well, it's not my problem. Well, it's because you have a bunch of people coming from the south to the north.
Yeah.
And there's like, well, why is everybody coming? It's like, well, the radiation. And then everybody's first thought, because of, books and TVs and all that crap, is just like, they nuked it. And it's like, no, they didn't fucking nuke it, you retard. It's reactor failure.
Fukushima did.
Yeah, fucking reactor failure, but nobody's there to fucking fix it. There's not enough people with the knowledge. Yeah. So everybody's running up, so you have hordes of zombies following these people north.
Are they slow zombies or fast zombies?
They're slow zombies.
Yes. But slow zombies are the best zombies.
So they walk.
Yeah.
They don't run, they walk, but they lunge.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if they get within, a certain distance, they're going to lunge
within a meter or some shit. They're going to...
Yeah, if they're within grabbing distance. Yeah. Logical grabbing distance. Yeah. But what it explains, since it's a phage...
Can it climb?
No.
Excellent.
Steep hills are fucking hilarious. But,
that was doing a cartwheel.
Yeah.
On accident.
But, so since it's a phage... And it's explaining, how are these zombies coming? Because their eyes are dead. They don't have eyes, just straight up. They're able to triangulate sound. So, so these zombies, if you make a noise, they can pinpoint you. Think, what's that game?
The clickers from Last of Us.
Yeah, Last of Us.
Yeah, I instantly thought of that.
Yeah, like that. But, so they can triangulate sound. But that makes it also easy to get away from, because if you can grab a fucking rock, toss it...
Find a chunk of brick.
Mm-hmm. And it shows them chasing, and they eat anything. They'll eat
cows,
deers,
chicken,
cows, whatever makes noise and is moving, they'll go.
Yeah, just like much like in The Walking Dead.
Yeah, so that's what I like about it. Is it's in depth. It explains a lot about the characters and about the world that they're in. It explains how the apocalypse starts, and it gets later into the series. It gets into how it ended up spreading into other parts of the world, which was because you can get the phage
and not carry or
not show symptoms.
Yeah, you can
for
be a carrier.
Hot minute.
Yeah,
and then bam.
They were on a plane,
or you can get it and then turn in instantly. There's no duration.
Yeah,
because metabolisms and shit. So they explain all this crap in the book, and it's legit.
That's awesome.
And I'm waiting on later in the series.
Do you have the first book physical copy?
Yes.
I would like to borrow it.
So I think I have the first, second, and fourth.
Oh, right. That's all right.
But yeah, so I gotta get them through in those boxes actually. That heavy box, that's in the storage. That's
the heavy one?
That's where that book is.
Ah.
War Machine. I need to get that put in the trailer anyways. But Yeah, so it explains how the zombie apocalypse starts and all that. It explains a decent bit about the virus itself, and it explains how the Chinese are doing experiments on it.
Of course they are.
Oh no! Well, the Americans were too. It's
I'm
just
sure they are.
they were more successful.
Governments are always looking for.
Yeah.
We could help, but this is more interesting.
Yeah.
No.
So there it finds out they were working on it, but and it has global economics in it. Once they get the CB.
What economics? I'm pretty sure it just jams to a standstill.
Well, all of Korea is a much smaller country,
True.
but with a lot more.
Good luck to the zombies going north to south or south to north.
A lot more population than there are guns in the country versus America, where there's a lot more guns than there are population.
90, you know what's so funny, because I just found this out, or not just found this out, but I got it updated or whatever. For every 100 individuals in the U.S., there are 90 guns.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of guns.
Yeah, but other countries are not like that.
No,
and
fuck
it
no.
explains that. It's just that since
maybe
America,
that's a good thing, because if they triangulate on sound, maybe it's time to go melee.
Well, that's what it explains it in America,
silence.
since everybody has guns, that when the zombie apocalypse was starting, people were able to defend themselves and figure it out a lot quicker. Because if you pop
So America did better than other countries, to a degree.
A lot better.
Good.
We trimmed down our population. I think their president had like a speech for clearing out Louisiana. No, is it Louisiana? Or Missouri. One of the two, but or Delaware. But
Delaware is way far away from those two. Louisiana, Midwest, Missouri, Midwest.
It's a name. It's not a map.
Ah.
But yeah, so he says whichever one it is, and it says there's
of course
only,
the president's safe in the Cheyenne Mountains.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah,
That's
he's
but
9 miles underground.
Oh,
she. I'm sorry.
But yeah, the president died. So
damn it.
Didn't make it in time.
Ah, bummer.
But yeah, so she does a speech on how they can clear out the state because we are sending in this many troops, and this many troops. This is a population of Delaware at the time. This is how many people that have escaped that we know of so far, which means this is a total population, which means each and every last one of you only has to kill 100.
Yeah, that's
100.
That's all.
How many bullets are in your magazines, in your load?
Well, here in California,
300. You have 300 on your 310 on your loadout as a soldier.
Gotcha.
So they explain that. No, they even go with that on what a soldier's actual loadout of rifle is. And that's what I like about him is he explains all this.
Very detailed.
He's very accurate on a lot of things. Now we're going to go into the downfall of the book.
Uh-oh. Is it badly written like the other one?
No, it's very well written.
Oh, thank God.
It's with the silencers. He uses the silencers to fit the story. So,
because they're not silent.
If he's fighting
it's a stupid
zombies,
term. They're called suppressors because it moves it from 130 decibels to 105 decibels.
Well, that's what he's saying.
Which is still like a freight train.
Well, in the beginning, he uses them properly. It's a suppressor, and they explain the difference between what Hollywood thinks a silencer is and what a suppressor is and what it does and all this. And they get into that in the first couple of books.
You know that scene in John Wick 2 where they're both firing at each other in that fucking, was it a train station or whatever, and they're just like, like nobody around them knows. Yeah, it sounds like a mild fart.
Yeah.
Even still, with the suppressor on, a good suppressor, if you fire, something smaller than a 50 cal, it still sounds like if you took two rocks and you smack them together, that crack.
If you have a suppressor on your weapon, a quality one, like Bradley's saying, if you are in a house, you will hear it. If you are across the street, you will not.
Yeah.
That is.
But it would still take you 150 feet.
Yeah.
To not hear it. Anything within 150 feet, they're going to hear it.
And that's what I'm saying. Like in a house, you can hear it.
It's crazy.
But if you're outside of a house with the insulation and the walls, you won't hear it. You'll still see the flash, though. But
much reduced. Because it catches gases.
Is in the beginning of the book, he uses suppressors very well. He explains them well. He uses all that.
And then later on,
he uses them situationally.
Uh-huh.
So, he's going through a cabin. and he executes 2 guys by shooting them with a suppressor in the face. And didn't wake anybody else up in the fucking cabin. Cabin?
That's crap.
Fucking cabin?
The only
I'm
way
sorry.
that I think you can maybe get away with that.
No! It's a cabin!
Hold on. Is if you're using a 22 and you're using subsonic ammo with a suppressor and they're deep sleepers.
And the doors are closed. All the doors would have to be closed.
And they drank a lot before they went to sleep.
Yeah, there's a lot that would have to go into that. But no, you're not going to shoot 3 guys. And that would be 1. That would be fucking 1 you can get off.
Maybe you can squeeze away 2.
Yeah, but 3 in a row.
You just knifed the 3rd one.
He knifed the 4th one. And then lit the play. Yeah, it was. But that's what I'm saying. That's one of the only thing I didn't like is he used.
Sounds like he turns into a bit of a badass if he's.
No, that's
and
Gabriel.
stabbing.
That's Gabriel.
CPA.
No, all right. So the CPA is everybody that meets him thinks that he's part of the CIA because he's so well trained, but he has none of the military terminology. Yeah. Doesn't carry himself as a military man. So
they think he's a spook.
And that's exactly what the running joke throughout the book is.
The CIA. No, CPA. CIA? CPA. CIA?
Well, no, because...
Fuck it. Fine.
They're
whatever.
just like, well, you got the Rangers and stuff that he works with later on when the Army comes out and makes a big push to try to take back America because and this is where the global economics comes in, is they come in and you have North Korea and Russia both trying to fucking take over parts of America. We repel the Russians.
What?
Yeah. And then you also have
Don't they have enough shit going on?
You also have the Confederate States trying to fucking just be like, fuck it, we're doing this shit.
Quick!
It's our time!
No one's looking!
It's exactly what's going on.
Alright, you bunch of sister fuckers.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, but I mean, since they have a majority of the guns, they have the loosest gun laws, they have the biggest goddamn militia, the biggest goddamn army.
They don't have the tanks. Or the
They
cruise
do
missiles.
have tanks. They do have cruise missiles.
Where'd they
Because
get
we
cruise
have
missiles?
bases down there.
They don't know how to run that shit. They don't know how to read.
You're telling me a good old boy that was in the army that went back home and then they're just like...
I guarantee you he can't read.
From the army?
I
He was trained on that shit.
Okay, maybe that guy.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm saying the rest of them.
That's what I'm saying. This guy went from private to general real quick.
Alright.
Yeah.
So Jackson versus Stonewall over here.
So, yeah, so they have the whole fucking economic thing going on with fucking Korea, Russia coming in, the fucking Confederate States coming on, so it's a whole goddamn war. And then you have the Republic of California, because California makes a push to become its own country.
I mean, 7th largest economy, 6th. 6th largest economy in the world.
Doesn't work when you're full of zombies.
Well,
and you're being ass raped by the Chinese.
Stupid Chinese. Dang it.
It doesn't work with California. And we also we didn't have guns.
Let me guess, they went to San Francisco first?
Californians didn't have guns to defend them, so the Chinese came in and be like, here's a bunch of AKs to give to your populace. But we want to go ahead and China got fucked.
You can take Modesto north.
That's what happened is we gave them land, and then they just kept landing.
They were trying to get the fuck out of China, apparently.
Well, no, they fucking gave up a majority of China, blocked off one part of it with their factories.
Because they just couldn't contain their
Because they didn't give
invasion.
a shit. China doesn't give a shit. The government didn't give a shit about the people. It gave a shit about the higher ups.
Shocker.
So it fucking walled off a fucking area for production. And then they started pumping out a bunch of AKs.
What are you going to produce in Northern California? Fucking the grapevines? The whole area is like vineyards and farms and shit.
It's a foothold.
And
Yeah, so that's what they did, and then it gets into it.
Oregon.
But the main character, CPA, gets a wife and a kid, so he goes from...
Damn, how many years pass?
Oh, a shit ton.
In the story.
I think they're at 9.
Oh, okay.
Fucking, yeah. No, they're at... Because it took them a while. Like, it took them a couple of years to get moving. Because first they went to their little hidey hole.
Well, everything's going to shit
and
while.
they spent their 3 to 4 years, I think, by themselves, just 2 dudes in the mountains. Sure. And then fucking from there, they were just like, all right, well, let's go.
We're running out of food.
Nope. They had enough to fucking last them well off because they supplemented with hunting during the fucking good years. Or during the good thing. But yeah, so they ended up pushing out.
I guess they didn't have a lot of zombies in their remote location, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they were up in the fucking Appalachians.
Appalachia? So they were in Virginia. Okay.
And that's where they ended up. So what they had was Homeboy had his safe house.
Very remote.
Gabriel had his safe house, and then they had a joint safe house.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah. I mean, if you have a homie, you're gonna fucking have an area set up with them, right?
It's not like you have to pay for the house that you're just squatting in now that everyone's a zombie.
Yeah. So I mean, but no, I mean they had an underground bunker and everything that they could spend years in if need be. But they had solar panels and cameras set up just in case their base got overran. They can go underground and just wait for everybody to fuck off until they can pop back out and fucking murder what's
Smart.
left. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm talking about years and years worth of food for both of them.
I dig it.
And then with the ice runoff, they had a water source every winter to refill their yearly source.
Their cisterns and all that. Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Yeah, that sounds like a good series. I'd read that.
It's very well written, like I said.
It kind of
those
reminds
are my
me
downfalls
of
it.
Not the movie. Fuck that movie. I like Brad
World
Pitt.
War Z.
Yeah, fuck that movie. You know exactly what I'm talking
It
about.
actually was not a bad movie. Compared to the book,
if they had changed the name, it would have been a great movie.
On its own,
Change the name.
On its own, it was a great movie.
Had almost nothing to do with the book.
No, not at all.
Yeah, but you read the book, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So another demonstration of what a pretty realistic zombie uprising or zombie plague would look like.
Very much so.
Which, oddly enough, originated in China. Or, they allude.
Well,
to
yeah,
that.
yeah. Well, it's the CDC was apparently doing private testing with it.
There's always some kind of
in the
bullshit,
surviving book.
But they're never...
Surviving the Dead.
They're never very specific. They don't never out and out say, this is what it was.
Oh, no. That's what they're doing the testing, and he's working around to it. Because I'm telling you, if you read the series,
book even the movie is like while it's happening. The book is 10 years. They call it World War Z, so it's 10 years after the zombie war. 10 years after humans won.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And everybody's running around.
And he's a reporter, and he's going from country to country. He's a reporter. He's just collecting stories. Mm-hmm. It was a great book. It was cool stories. This is, he interviews a guy in Africa, China, everywhere.
Yeah, but, I think that's where they were going after with it was a character in the World War Z universe. Yeah. Because it happened during the war.
Yeah.
So I think that's what the movie was going for with it.
Yeah, Max Brooks wrote World War Z.
Yeah.
So yeah, you should definitely check that out.
The movie, as a standalone movie, I think it was very well done.
Just change the name. And it was good.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
And those were fast-moving zombies. Not a fan. I am not a fan of fast-moving zombies. I do like 28 Days Later. 28 Weeks Later was even better than 28 Days Later.
Because they tell you it's not zombies.
It's a rage virus.
Exactly.
You're splitting hairs at that point.
But that explains the speed and strength.
For sure.
Yeah. So that's why I like that. But yeah. So Surviving the Dead by James N. Cook. 9 books so far. The
awesome.
10th book is coming out. Last book was Hellbreaker. Favorite book from the series would have to be the first book. The last book just came out a year ago.
Oh, okay. So it's fairly recent then.
Yeah.
Good.
Oh, yeah. So
you're not waiting 6 years like me.
No, I'm looking forward to the new book just to see where it goes because I usually jump from one character to the next for one book and then jump back to the two main characters. Like the 7th book is written about Caleb Hicks, who is a soldier in the army.
So it changes character perspectives.
Well, yeah. First book is the CPA. Second book is Gabriel. Third book is both of theirs. Fourth book is both of theirs. Fifth book is Gabriel. Sixth book is both of theirs. No, sixth book is Caleb Hicks. Seventh book is both of them and Caleb Hicks. And the 8th book is mostly Gabriel because the CPA is taking care of his family now. Yeah. And Caleb Hicks. And then the 9th book is about some dude out in Arizona.
Yeah.
Just like I'm talking about, like some random dude that's just like fucking white dude Indian.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, whereas the Dresden series is always from the, it's always about Harry Dresden from his perspective.
Yeah.
What's kind of, and I always think about it, and it was a good series. I really liked it. Just from a fantasy, I don't know how horror, but it was called the Vampire Earth series, where they weren't vampires, but that's just what people called them. But they were actually like extra-dimensional beings who came over and they took over Earth and pretty much subjugated humanity. But it's like, it's the future because it's been, 80 years, from now or some shit. I don't know what you would call it. Like, technology has not advanced at all. They confiscated almost all the guns, so all the guns you find are all part of the rebellion.
Even now, technology's kind of stagnated, more or less.
But I was going to say, what would you call it, though? Is that fantasy? It's not science fiction. I mean, is it science fiction?
It is science fiction. Well, no, technology hasn't advanced, so it'd be fantasy.
Yeah.
It'd be fantasy because you have, fucking vampires.
But whenever you say fantasy, it's not like, spells and swords and... I mean, there are swords.
Extra-dimensional beings or monsters are considered fantasy.
Okay.
All in the science fiction area. Or fiction area.
So it crosses borders. Yeah. So I'll let you take this one first then. While that is your favorite series...
hold on. Before we do this... Everybody, thank you for joining us on this YouTube video. Again, we had the pirate,
Pirate,
and then Don Dieu beer.
How do you like it?
Actually, started off wasn't that great,
really?
but
it was number 8.
Yeah, it was number 8. So, like I said, started off the first drink, wasn't a big fan. It was a lot fruitier than I thought it would be.
Ooh, I might like it then.
Yeah. But the second drink and then on, so I might just been the first that all the fucking fruit were at the top, I guess.
Yeah.
It was just very fruity for the first one. But after that, it kind of mellowed out. You still have the notes of the fruit and the spice. Very good beer. On a rating of 10, give it an 8. I'm going to go beeradvocate.com, and I'm going to give it a solid 8 on it. It's a great beer. Would not barbecue with it, but I definitely would.
You would read a book with it.
I'd read a book with it, definitely.
Fuck yeah.
But I'd walk around drinking this beer. Like, this is a beer I'd be like, okay, if I had to go through...
Is it not a dessert beer, but an indulgence beer? Like, it's rich?
Yeah. Oh, it's a.
That's what I'm getting from this.
Well, this is not a very sweet beer, but it's a good, solid beer.
Yeah.
That's great body, and it's something, like I said, you can grab, you can drink, and then you can just go about your day. And if it came in a smaller bottle, I'd have a couple of them. But if they had a 6-pack of this size, I would probably drink 6.
Oh my god, it's a
good beer. It goes down well.
So with this one, and if you'll look back at our previous episode when we reviewed this, it's so good. It's so good. So it kind of has and this sounds weird. The aftertaste is kind of bubblegummy a little bit, but it's bubblegummy spicy. It's really good. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I want to just. I'm working on a. So
This
I'll
would be
get
close
into
to
it.
that with the fruit note.
I'm going to probably try it here in a second. But because we're going to talk about honorable mentions here in a moment. But
this is just to end the video. We can continue with the podcast.
For sure.
So this is just ending the video. I'm going to give this again, like I said, 8 out of 10. Would you like to update your review on the Pirate?
Chances I don't remember what I gave it before, but
So,
I'm assuming I gave it a 9 because I'm going to give it a 9.
Well, no, he does give out a lot of 9s, so that's probably very
good.
likely. So we have a 9, and then again, I'll have him.
You
write
liked
some,
it too a lot.
Oh, very much so.
Yeah,
very much so. Again, I'll have him write a quick note so we can get the reviews down on the Facebook, and then when we get a YouTube page up, we'll go and let you know. So for the YouTube channel, everybody, thank you for joining us. Welcome to the fucking cackle.
There you go, sir.
Good stuff. Alrighty, so what were you going on about before I didn't?
So, just for when it came to the